Welcome to the class of political science today. Today we are here to start the new chapter, book of part 2, and the name of the chapter is freedom. Fine. So firstly we will do what is freedom. You can have a question in this way also, that what is the meaning of liberty or what is the meaning of freedom. Okay. So your answer will be liberty means freedom to do whatever a person likes to do. Okay, but nowadays liberty cannot be accepted in the absolute form only. According to a great political thinker Jekyll, liberty is the positive power of doing and enjoying those things which are worthy of enjoyment and work. Okay, so this can be the definition of freedom or liberty. Now our next topic is what are the dimensions of this freedom. Okay, so there are two dimensions of freedom. First we are having negative freedom, and the second we are having positive freedom. Okay, so whenever you will get the question that only name you can write, fine. If you are getting the question in a short way, so you have to define negative aspect of freedom as well as of positive aspect of freedom. So firstly we will do what is the negative aspect of freedom. So students, negative aspect of freedom implies negative aspect of freedom implies the absence of any restraints on freedom. Okay, in such type of freedom there is no restraint, no barrier, no restriction is there. Okay, and on the other hand we are having a positive aspect of freedom. It means the right of the individual to do things which are not harmful to others. Okay, so in this type of freedom we are having a things to do. I mean, it means individual can do the things, but side by side they have to take care of this thing, that their activities, their way of doing work should not harm others. Okay, so this is the particular difference between the negative aspect of freedom and positive aspect of freedom. You people can get a differentiate on this also. So in differentiate, we will define the things, particular negative aspect of freedom and positive aspect of freedom in detail. Fine. So we know that the negative aspect of liberty means absolute freedom of individual. Okay, absence of the restraint is the meaning of negative liberty. But true liberty does not mean the absence of restrictions. Okay, true liberty exists only when every citizen enjoy the opportunity for self-realization, and the state maintains those rights and opportunities which help the citizen to develop all that is best in them. Okay, the positive aspect of liberty includes the right of the man to do or enjoy something that is worth enjoying, or in brief, it means the enjoyment of certain important rights such as freedom of life, we can say, freedom of thought, and freedom of worship, and etc. Okay, many freedoms are there in this category. So students, after doing the definition meaning of freedom and liberty, we can say that, or liberty, we will move to the next topic, that is what is the role of state in upholding freedom of its citizens. Okay, in a modern democratic state, freedom of the individual is protected by the state. Okay, so full-fledged question can come to you people, that what is the role of the state in upholding freedom of its citizens. So whenever you will get this question, your answer will be in points. You can make a 5 points in this regard. First point can be, in a modern democracy, state freedom of the individual is protected by the state. But according to anarchist, individualist, pluralist, okay, the state is a big hurdle in the way of individual liberty. So the maximum use of sovereign authority is bound to decrease the liberty of the individuals. Okay, the people in the state are to function in accordance with the laws of the state. We know this, and it resulted, of individuals' liberty also. But most of the modern thinkers are of the viewpoint that liberty and state are not opposite to each other. Rather, they are correlated. Okay, the state makes law so that the citizen may have no hindrance to act as he should for his own good and well being of the society. Liberty cannot exist without law. This is true. Can you people imagine any liberty without law? No. So, the supreme power of the state is expressed through laws, and the laws protects the liberty of the individual. So, they are correlated. They are not different to each other. The laws of the state enhance the liberty of the individual. According to Riche, law is the condition of the liberty. Reasonable restrictions are imposed on the actions of individuals through laws, and it helps in extending liberty to everybody. Thus, the state is the real guardian of the liberty. So, whenever you will get the question that what is the role played by the state towards the liberty or the freedom of the citizen, we can write that they are not, separated by each other, they are correlated to each other. Fine. So, now we will move to the next topic. Now, our next topic is what is meant by freedom of expression. Okay, you can get the question in this way also. So, freedom of expression, we know that one of the issues that is considered to belong to the minimum area of non interference is the freedom of expression. Okay, freedom of expression is a fundamental value, and for that, society must be willing to bear some inconvenience to protect it from people who want to restrict it. Okay, so remember Voltaire's, he was a great thinker, philosopher of France. Statement he has given that I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to death your right to say it. How deeply are we committed to this freedom of expression? Okay, so I think freedom of expression is clear to you people. Now we will do what is the view would be a reasonable restriction on this freedom. Okay, so reasonable restrictions on freedom of expression. We know that freedom of expression is a fundamental value, and for that, society must be willing to bear some inconvenience to protect it from the people who want to restrict it. We know this, we have already done this line. At various time, what happened? At various time, there have been demands to ban books, play films, plays, films, or academics articles in research journals. So let us think about the demand to ban books in the light of our discussion. So far, which sees freedom as the making of choices, where is a distinction made between negative and positive liberty. So, where we recognize the need for justifiable constraints, but these have to be supported by people's procedure and important moral argument. I know this is a new word for you people, that what is the meaning of constraints. So, we will do in our next topic that what do you mean by constraints. Okay, let's move to the next topic, that what are the elements of liberty. According to the Herbert Spencer, liberty is the freedom for every man to do that which he wills, provided he infringes not the equal freedom of any other man. Okay, so important elements of freedom are we are having. First, we are having liberty is not the absence of all restraints. Only in an environment of peace and order, the individual can enjoy liberty. To maintain the peace and order, reasonable restrictions are imposed on the actions of the individual through laws, and it helps in extending liberty to everybody. Fine, you can take the example of your society also. There are also some rules, okay, which has to be followed by each and every society member to live happily. Fine. So next we are having liberty is the maintenance of atmosphere of development of personality. Liberty is that atmosphere in which the individual can realize his best self. For full development of personality of an individual, and freedom is essential. Okay, so third we are having liberty means power to do something worth doing, something which is good and desirable, or which is not desirable in the society should be done. Okay, so next we are having liberty is given to all alike. Liberty does not mean to give freedom to a particular person only, but is given to all alike on equal basis. Okay, so next we are having liberty exists only in a state. Liberty exists and can be enjoyed only in society and state. It has to be enjoyed within the framework of the law. We know this. Without law, we can't enjoy the liberty. So there can be no liberty outside the state. Fine. So this was all about the key features or key elements of liberty. Let's move to the next topic, that what are the main types of liberty. Okay. We can have a question in this way also, like what are the main kinds of liberty. Okay. So mainly there are 7 types of freedom we are having. First is natural freedom, individual freedom, civil freedom, political freedom, economic freedom, religious freedom, relational freedom. Fine. So, firstly, we will do what is political liberty, what is political freedom. Students, political liberty exists only in a democracy. Firstly, the main thing you have to keep in your mind, political liberty exists only in a democratic country. In this form of government, citizens have full freedom to participate in the government. So they can elect their own representatives. They themselves have the right to be elected and they have the right to be appointed in the government services. So whenever you will get the question that what do you mean by political liberty, you have to answer in this way only that in a democratic country the citizens have a such and such rights. Okay, next we will move to the economic liberty. It includes those rights that are enjoyed by man concerning his livelihood. Okay. Economic liberty implies absence of unemployment, exploitation, unfair wage, substandard living, insecurity, etc. Thus, when states ensure employment to all citizens and make them free from the tyranny of the employers, we say that the citizen enjoy economic liberty. Economic liberty also includes, implies the absence of unemployment, exploitation, unfair wage, substandard living, or insecurity. So when state ensures employment to all the citizens and make them free from the tyranny, we say that the citizen enjoy economic liberty. So significance of economic liberty cannot be underestimated. Okay, political liberty or civil liberty becomes meaningless in the absence of economic liberty. So this is very mandatory to have by the citizens. Now we will move towards the religious liberty. Okay, so according to this type of liberty, every citizen of a state gets the freedom of religion. The citizen have the right to adopt and preach any religion of their choice. The religion of a citizen is considered a personal matter and the state mostly does not, interfere in religious affairs of the people until and unless it is necessary in the broader interest of the nation and the individual. This we are learning from last many classes. That the state is our India is the secular state. If we take the example of our India, it is a secular state. We don't have any the country is not having its own religion as Sri Lanka is having Buddhism. Pakistan is having Islam, but India is not having any religion of itself. Okay, so it respects all the religions. India is a secular state. So in our country, we are having a best example of religious liberty. Okay, the people can choose their religion. They can preach in their religion also. Fine. So India is having a best example of religious liberty, which is giving to its citizen also.